In today's episode of Billionaire's Beginnings, I'm going to be purchasing and customizing my top 10 HSW vehicles in GTA Online. Okay, so we're here at our 10 car garage because this is where we're going to fill up our 10 HSW vehicles. One side is completely empty, that's where we're going to put the cars that we purchased today, and the other side has some stuff, but we will look at that later. So currently we have $15 million, but I'm worried that it's not going to be enough for today, so we're actually going to do a couple things to get us some more money before we start up our grind. First, we're going to take out the $250K that's in the nightclub wall safe. If you guys don't know, the nightclub wall safe is paying out triple money this week, so you get $150K every single hour if you have your popularity fully maxed out. The other thing I'm going to check very quickly is how much stock we have. 645K, so we're going to probably do a sell mission in a future episode. For now, let's replenish our nightclub popularity. So I'm actually going to use a trick that I've been using for some time. I go down into the basement, I'm going to go into passive mode and then come back up, and there should be someone, a random event where I could throw someone out, get some popularity, and get 10K while we're at it. So down to here, enable passive mode, and now we're going to go back up top. So we should see a blue blip on the radar. Perfect. You can see just down there. They're going to be in the downstairs washroom, so let's head over there and toss them out of the nightclub. Alright, they're right here in the second stall. We're throwing out the troublemaker. Now, I found that if you do the passive mode glitch, I guess you could call it, you always get to this random event, which is a lot easier to do. Toss them out. You can see our nightclub popularity fully replenished, and we got 10K. Okay, next up on the agenda is going to be selling off some acid. We don't have a full acid lab, unfortunately, but I will sell this off, and we are in a public lobby with over 25 people, so we should be good to go. Let's hope this sell mission goes smoothly. How many deliveries do we have? We have, of course, we got the full 5 deliveries, and there's people with oppressors running around, so hopefully we could get through this thing unscathed. I might have to use Ghost Organization, which will take me off the radar for up to 3 minutes, but we'll have to see. Okay, I'm going to make the executive decision to use it right now. Take us off the radar for 3 minutes. Hopefully, we could get a ton of stuff done in that time. That's delivery number 1. That's delivery number 2 done. Let's head over to delivery number 3. That's delivery number 3 done. So far, it's pretty smooth. Okay, so our ghost organization is running out right as we're going to pass someone in an oppressor Mark II. So I'm really hoping that they don't just pull a UE and come for us. Okay, that's the final one. Now it's time to drive off, and I mentioned it before, but because we're now selling in a public lobby with more than 20 people, we should get a 50% high demand bonus. I believe it's 2.5% per player, or it's 2%, one of the two. We're going to get that high demand bonus, meaning that instead of making the 300K that we should have made, we're going to make 430. So we just got a 50% bonus, which is incredible. Now it's time to start buying these vehicles. Okay, I'm going through the list of HSW vehicles, and like half of these have been removed from the game. Many of the vehicles that I wanted just aren't here anymore, and I just never knew about that. The Banshee, the Sterling GT, I can't even find the Issy Rally. I think that was a limited vehicle. It's like, what? Bro, GT, oh, I'm so stupid. It's right here. Okay, that's awkward. I think I'm going to go with the yellow version. It is currently $1.8 million, which is crazy, and we're gonna have all of them taken here to the auto shop first so that we can get them through their upgrades. Okay, so I actually lied. We're here at the LS car meet because we are going to upgrade our Issy Rally. Now, I don't know how much the HSW upgrade is for this, and for those of you who don't know, HSW is how Special works. It is a next gen feature. It essentially gives a massive performance boost for certain cars in the game. So it doesn't apply to all of them, but as you can see here, getting this HSW upgrade increases the top speed almost to maxed out, and then it pushes acceleration into the second bar, which is pretty wild. So here is the final product. I ended up sticking with the yellow. I thought it looked pretty good. Got the crazy spoiler on it, got some blacked out track rims, and the black racing stripes. I love it. I think this thing looks really cool. It reminds me a bit of another HSW vehicle that I have, but for now, let's try it out. Okay, so immediately the acceleration on this thing is actually pretty crazy. The handling isn't ideal. It sticks to the ground a lot. It feels sort of blocky trying to turn. Now, like I said, or as it says in the name, it is a rally car, so got to keep in mind that's what it's meant for. But like that, I was pulling to turn the entire time, and the car didn't even budge. So I don't know. It looks like it's going to be pretty good on a straightaway, but when it comes to getting around the city, this is not a car that you're going to really use. But the main reason why I like it is just simply the looks. I mean, this car is gorgeous. Now, of course, I banged it up a lot, so it doesn't look that great now, but the aesthetics of cars for me is a major selling point, so this is why it's in my top 10. Before we take it over to the garage, let's get a little sound test here. Turn up the volume. That sounds amazing. Alright, first one added to the garage. Next up is the Sentinel XS, and the only reason why I have it in my top 10 is because it can be a free HSW car. For those of you who don't know, your first ever HSW upgrade is free, and this car can be found on the street. So if you put the two together, you can get a free HSW vehicle, which could allow you to do HSW time trials and a bunch of other things. When it comes to aesthetics, I do love it. I think it's a gorgeous car and a cool one to have, but of course, it's not going to be up there for performance. Once again, let's listen to this bad boy. It does have a very rich and full sound, which is nice, but it's nothing too special. Next up, I'm purchasing a car that I've wanted for quite some time, and it is the Turismo Classic, of course, based off of the Ferrari F40. Now, this one is a part of the 150 mile per hour club, which is just an outrageous speed. But not only that, it's also one of the most affordable HSW vehicles, if you can believe it. The car, of course, was $700K, but the HSW upgrade is also only $900,000. So here is the final product. I wanted to keep it stock since it is a classic, and I tried to get the rims to be pretty close to what most stock F40 rims look like. So I think it did a pretty good job. Changed the color to Formula Red. Now it's time to take it for a spin. I mean, listen to this car. Oh, the sound it makes when it changes gears, that is beautiful. This car is incredible. So as you can see, this car performs fairly well, decent handling, good acceleration, and a fairly decent top speed, coming in at about 150 miles per hour, which is just insane. Now, while the car's performance is fairly good, of course, once again, I'm a big aesthetics guy. I just love the way it looks. I love those vintage Ferraris, and I love this vintage car in the game. I mean, check out this car. We got a little blemish there at the front, but man, one of the best looking cars in the entire game, in my opinion. Next up, we have a car that we already purchased, which is the La Carouse. I believe that's how you pronounce it, probably butchered it. But this one looks just like the Issy Rally. We have customized this a long time ago, except this one does handle and drive 10 times better. I mean, look how it takes that corner. That was clean. I love this car. It is so fun to drive, but we don't yet have the HSW vehicle for it, or the HSW upgrade rather, so we're going to do that now and see just how much better it actually is. Also, we got to appreciate this thing. I believe is fully electric. As you could hear, there is no engined noise. It is just straight humming. I actually really like the sound of this. So cool. But like I said, by far one of the most fun cars to drive. I mean, I think it's impossible to spin out with this thing. Alright, so let's see what the damage is here. HSW, only 818,000. That's actually very cheap. I do not mind that. So we're going to get that. English is just not my, it's not working for me today. We'll get the engine tune and everything else. Alright, time to see just how much faster this car is now. So, okay, that picked up pretty quick. Okay, already I feel this. Wow. This is fast, bro. Holy. That was a huge jump from its previous speed, or at least it feels like it. This thing takes off. This feels like one of the fastest vehicles in the game. So apparently it only has a top speed of 142 miles per hour, but I'm telling you guys right now, this thing feels considerably faster than that. Maybe it's because of its crazy acceleration, but did you guys see there? That was horrible driving, and I still didn't manage to crash or spin out because the traction and control of this car, I jinxed it. The control of this car is next level, honestly. It is a dream to drive. With that, next up on the hit list is the Entity MT. Now, I remember the original Entity back when the game first came out. It was actually one of my favorite cars, so I'm very excited to try this new and improved version and see how fast it is with the HSW upgrade. I gotta say, this thing already looks like a spaceship. I'm so excited. Wow, that is a gorgeous car. So the HSW upgrade is $850. That's actually not bad. Let's get everything kitted out and we'll see just how good this car is. Okay, so here is the final product and I love it. I have the carbon black paint for both primary and secondary color. I put some carbon fiber rims that have some red accents. I took off the wing at the back, so I think it looks better that way. And now we're going to test this out. Now, I did look it up, and I believe this is also a part of the 150 mile per hour club, which is a more limited club than you'd think. Most of them are HSW vehicles, but right away, this thing feels pretty good. I've always loved the entire Entity line, so I'm so glad that we picked this up. I'll of course have to pick up the other ones later on, but a car that looks as beautiful as this cannot go unpurchased. Now the real test is, how does this sound? Let's see what it sounds like. Oh baby. Fairly, okay, relatively generic, but let's actually go for another pull under that tunnel. Let's listen to it. You guys ready? Let's go. Oh, that sounds incredible. Holy, wow. Okay, on to the next car. Next up, we have the weaponized Ignis. This one is a beautiful car. Now, the regular version already has incredible performance. This one with the HSW upgrade only sits at about 146 miles per hour at its top speed, but everyone knows all-around performance, the Ignis is one of the better cars to have in the game. And I think the customization that I had for this was pretty cool. We have that chameleon paint job with the white rims and the blue underglow. Now, of course, one of the major selling points of this car is the fact that it is actually armored with a 50 cal machine gun. Let's get this loaded up. Here's the minigun. You guys can see this thing is outrageous. Now, unfortunately, it has a limited range that you could actually turn the gun. As you can see, when we go too far to the right or too far to the left, it no longer shoots. But I mean, to have a car with this level of performance and this kind of weapon on top is just insane. Anyways, I think this is a pretty obvious one to have in the top 10. Let's move on to the next car. Next up for purchase is another one similar to the Entity MT, is one that I've wanted to purchase because of its looks, its aesthetics, and to a degree its performance. It is the Cyclone 2. I've wanted to get this car for so long. I'm so excited to purchase it and try it out. Let's see what we could do with it. Alright, it is the moment of truth. How much is the HSW upgrade? 475k. That's actually very affordable. Time to get everything else going. Alright, here is the finished product for the car. We got the chrome carbon rims, and we have this midnight blue. Man, that thing looks gorgeous. Of course, I put a bigger spoiler on the back, but wow. This is probably one of the most beautiful cars in the game that I've seen. Okay, little loss of traction there, but let's see how this thing performs. So far, feels really good. Great acceleration. Ooh, okay, so maybe a bit of oversteer there. I don't know. That didn't feel that good. Sliding a bit. It's very sensitive to movement, so that's interesting. Great in a straight line though. This thing is quick. Doesn't reach crazy top speeds, but you could definitely tell this thing was built for performance. Now, just as I thought, the Coil Cyclone does have a top speed of 141. It is not the fastest out there, but it's still a pretty decent car. I mean, to think that the normal stock car, the RSX, I believe, is the fastest, or the Pariah is the fastest at 136. This being 140 right off the bat is pretty nuts. So, pretty quick car, looks beautiful. Let's check out how it sounds. So, this one's electric again. Okay, I didn't even know that. It's an electric car, which makes sense. The acceleration is rapid on this car. It's always going to be rapid on the electric cars, just like the Teslas in real life. They take off, they go 0 to 60 in insane time. So, pretty cool, pretty fun car to have. But of course, like I said before, I mean, look at the aesthetics of this car. It is beautiful. Don't mind the the blemishes. Also a feature I just realized now, look at those doors. I don't even know what you would call that. They're not gull wing falcon doors, I guess, maybe falcon. So sick, gotta love it. Next on the list is the Italy GTO Stinger TT, one of the newest cars in the game and the fastest car in the game, coming at a top speed of 168.5 miles per hour. Mind blowing. I think the next fastest is around 160. So to be almost 10 miles per hour faster than everything else is outrageous. It might actually be 165. I'm not sure. So acceleration is all right on this car, but of course the top speed is its main selling point. As you can see, the handling isn't ideal, but if you get this thing on a straightaway or you're using it in a race, my gosh, will this thing fly. Now, I said this in the Billionaire's Beginnings episode when I actually bought the car. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetics. The back is very like blocky and chunky. I'm not a big fan of cars like that. I like slimmer, more sleek vehicles. But of course, the main reason why you're buying this car is for the performance. I mean, look at the speed when it hits max. It takes a bit of time to get up there, but this thing is fast. Never tried it in a race. I should at some point, but my gosh, it flies. Now, the second last car for today's video and the final car we are purchasing is one that I've wanted for some time. I feel like I've said that for every single car, but it is the Vigero ZX, and I did leave the best for last. Now, the reason why I said I saved the best for last is because this is actually the joint second fastest vehicle in the game, and it's actually tied with the final HSW vehicle for the day, which we'll show in a little bit. This has a top speed of 157.5 miles per hour, which, to what I was saying earlier, the Stinger TT is 10 miles per hour faster than the second highest. As you can see, the brakes weren't the best on that, but this is the fastest, or one of the fastest vehicles in the entire game. It's a ton of fun to drive. It is a muscle car, so it's by far the fastest in the muscle car class if you're into racing. The aesthetics look great. You gotta love the Chevy Camaros, the entire line. But overall, very good performing vehicle. Handling is decent. As you saw earlier, brakes not the best, but we can accept that for its overall speed. Now, one thing I do want to do is do a little sound test here in the tunnel. So first, let's listen to what it sounds like. Ooh. And we popped a wheelie. Gotta love it. I didn't even know you could do it with this car. Wow, this car sounds beautiful. Let's hear it. Wow. Oh, this car sounds great. Holy smokes. Let's see what it sounds like when it decelerates. That purr is incredible. Holy, I don't think I've ever heard a car like this. So honestly, on performance and sound alone, this has got to be a top 5. This is nuts. Okay, time for the final car in our garage. Now, this may shock some of you, and to some, it may not be a shock at all. My favorite HSW vehicle is the Hakuchu Drag, which is one of the fastest in the game. As I said before, it's tied at a top speed of 157.5 miles per hour. This thing is quick, but of course, the main reason why it's so much fun and so easy to use is the fact that it is a motorcycle, and you are able to take very sharp turns. As you can see, going up these roads here is easy, even at full or close to full speed. Now, of course, the main thing I use this motorcycle for is the HSW time trial. I don't think I've ever had a hard time completing a time trial since getting this motorcycle for it. But as you can see, at top speeds, doing any of these corners, it is way too easy. It's a must buy and probably the first HSW vehicle I would always suggest people to get. It's about $1 million, and if you use that free HSW upgrade for it, this is one of the best vehicles you can have in the game. Anyways, that was my top 10 favorite HSW vehicles. I'm glad I now have them all in one garage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.